Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 21 at Darlington. This track is very hard to get around on. It is our third prestigious event of the 2020 season. The Daytona 500, Indianapolis, and Darlington are the Triple Crown events that all the drivers and the teams want to win at when it comes to the big stage. This is Throwback Weekend, and a lot of teams are sporting throwback liveries. Luke Martin and DJ Curtis are on pole for tonight's race, both of them sporting special schemes from different race series and some special schemes from the past seasons of the Sony Cup Series. Glad to have you along with us. Apologies for getting the race up in a delay. It's been a struggle lately, and I appreciate all of you holding in strong and being patient with the Sony Cup Series, but we are back and we're going to get underway for racing. 110 laps tonight, 150 miles. Darlington is a tough joint. This track, turn 2 and turn 4 are the most tricky corners of the entire racetrack, and you have to be careful not to snatch that barrier when you're coming off these corners. You have to be able to get off the corner fast enough down these straightaways. And Darlington with 10 races to go, 9 after this one. The championship fight is on, with Rodriguez 1 point clear of Jake Bassinger, with Martin, Shelley, Demax all within a race of the title lead. This could prove to be a very important race tonight. Here we are, about to go racing at Darlington. It has been a minute since I've been able to get a Sony Cup Series race out, but we are going to go racing. Darlington is a tough racetrack. It is called the Lady in Black, and the track too tough to tame for a reason. And as Luke Martin very importantly grabbed the pole for tonight's race, 6 points trailing Matt Rodriguez. Rodriguez will start further back, and he'll start in the 12th position. DJ Curtis is one of the drivers, along with Brian Acosta, Jesse Turner, that are within 2 races of the championship lead. This is not over when it comes to the 2020 crown, and that is what's most important on the minds of many when it comes to a season-long fight. But for tonight's race, this is another crown jewel in the Sony Cup Series, and these 42 drivers are going to finally get underway for Darlington. Martin, Curtis, CM Racing, Curtis Racing, they have been quick this year. What a story it has been for them. How are they going to race for 110 laps tonight? And the green flag is out. We're racing at Darlington. Onto the back straightaway for the first time tonight. Luke Martin gets the jump on DJ Curtis. Eric Demax slots in behind for 3rd place. Here comes Ryan Acosta, John Hart, Jordan Fisher, Dylan Young, and Cody Lamas on the high side. The high side entering the corners, like you will see with Lamas and Dylan Young. You do not want to be up there. You see Jordan Fisher fly by in the 2 car. You want to be able to get as close to the barrier as you can without hitting it. But entering the corners, you want to be on the inside. That is just the preferred groove for this racetrack. And DJ Curtis has found himself on the top side, the dirty part of the racetrack. And here comes Eric Demax, trying to get a challenge on the 8 car. And Demax is going to sail into 2nd, bringing Ryan Acosta to 3rd. Here comes John Hart for 4th. And DJ Curtis really showing the real case of what it is when you're on the high side entering the corners. This is just not where you want to be, and Curtis is finding that out the hard way. Going to put a tip of the hat for the drivers making their Sony Cup Series debut tonight. Brandon Parsons for Martin Motorsports in the 3rd entry tonight. He's in the 29. This is his first ever start in any FBRL race ever. And Will Goss, who has been very impressive in the Napa Truck Series, he's in the not the Amp car, but the Cybertron Motorsports entry, the 28. And Goss is trying to get some experience under his belt following second in the championship, Jake Bassinger. He didn't practice or qualify all too well, but Bassinger has been very confident in his machine and thinks he has a car that can compete tonight. He goes the inside of Dejon Weeks. Meanwhile, back at the front, it is Luke Martin over Ryan Acosta. Acosta has got a very fast machine. He goes to the lead, to the inside of Luke Martin. Here comes his teammate, John Arndt, looking to take a battle for the second place. And John Arndt, door-to-door with his teammate Luke Martin, both drivers leaving CM at the season's end. Martin for UER for next year, and John Arndt for Allen Family Racing Team. Both cars will be filled by Alex Bianco and Dejon Weeks for 2020. Eric Demax is one of the drivers that have inked a contract with the same run he's driving for this season, back in the third place. Here comes Jordan Fisher, a great run in the early going. He's up to fifth place. Actually, he's up to fourth with a pass on Martin. James Shelley past Luke Martin. Chet Porkins, very impressive run so far in the 33. He's in seventh place. Well, not anymore, as Zack Rogers has moved past. Here comes Dylan Schwellenberg. DJ Curtis trying to get back on his horse, trying to pass his teammate. Going to the inside on Porkins. Porkins has been very good in the Hardee's National Series and very impressive in the early going. Needs to try and keep that streak alive by staying out of the wall. With Zachary Fitzwater, Charles Sanford, Jeff James, and man, Cody Lamas has lost out a lot of time in the first 8 laps. Anthony Marchese driving the 38 Ford for this race to the inside of Jeff James. James trying to power back on the high side, but Jeff James, that spot on the high side's not where you want to be. Marchese and Dom Caps fly by that UER 34. And here comes Jesse Turner to the inside for the 19th position. Kyle Collins just outside of the top 20. Jake Bassinger trying to pull the gap on Vince Freeze. Samuel England, last year's Napa Pro Series, which has transferred over to the Napa Truck Series. Will Goss on debut, making his way up some positions. Very good early run in the top 25. The Monster Energy Racing cars, they are focusing on next year at that race team. But Silver Fox, he qualified in the 30s. Oh, Vince Freeze bounces off the wall. England, Goss, and Silver Fox. Dylan Young qualified in the top 10. He's near 30th place. He's going to have to try and make some sort of adjustments. Being on the high side was just not where you wanted to be in the early start of the race. Chris Dodds deep down here in 29th. Ryan Griffin outside the top 30 and 32nd. And Jeffrey Lynn also down in 36th place. These are drivers you would expect to be running higher up the grid, but are struggling as the race goes along. Ryan Acosta and Luke Martin in the first 13 laps look to be the best cars out there. Third best, I would say maybe Zack Rogers. He has moved his way into the top 5. He is closing in on the leaders. He was the best Turner Performance driver in terms of pace for this race weekend. Now, we expect Jesse Turner, Jake Bassinger, James Shelley to be up there. You see James Shelley just up ahead in third, but the Turner Performance team just was not that quick in practice or qualifying, but Shelley and Rogers moving their way up the front, and Shelley sporting a very nice livery in that 71, getting the challenge from Jordan Fisher. This is a great to see from the Fisher Motorsports team. They ran well here with the Fisher Motorsports H&S program. And Jordan Fisher underneath of the other black car to his outside. James Shelley's going to lose some time. Here comes Rogers, Art, Demax. That just shows you cannot be on the high side entering turn 1. You lose out too much. Zack Rogers just next corner is going to take Jordan Fisher for the third place. Here in John Art going to try and draw a nail on that 2 Great Clips Toyota, and Art up to fourth place. We're going to get a replay, but Zack Rogers entering turn 1 nearly stepped the car out. He got very loose, and here comes Sean Hart. This is a race for third, and we also have a battle for the lead. Luke Martin going after Ryan Acosta. And Arndt for third place will get that position away. Up to third, Rogers trying to cut down in front of Eric Demax and Dylan Schwellenberg. This is another race weekend where the Rodriguez Racing cars of Demax and Schwellenberg look very good. Here comes Martin trying to get alongside of Acosta, and Luke Martin's back in the first again. Eric Demax to the inside of the 99. Rogers nearly hit the wall, but Curtis surely did. And DJ Curtis is struggling with the handling on that 8 car. along with Jordan Fisher as he has dropped a ways. Charles Sanford trying to close in on this race for 10th. Anthony Marchese just ahead of Jesse Turner. Jeff James, the 31 of Scott Roush, was tied for fastest in practice. A very good lap for him. But in the race, just inside of the top 20, Jake Bassinger looking to get by him. And again, DJ Curtis is on a lot of momentum in the last few races, but this race here, that is 2 laps in a row. He has pancaked the right side of that machine. Dylan Schwellenberg to the inside of Eric Demax. Demax just slightly kisses the wall. Doesn't look like he has that much damage. Very slight, if any, for the 10 car. He got away on that one. Eric Burton to the inside of Jack Parkins for 7th place. Burton ran really well in Indianapolis. It's good to see. This 88 car, Burton signed a deal with Cybertron Motorsports to go racing with them full-time in next year alongside DJ Curtis. And Burton showing that he still has it 2 weeks in a row running inside the top 10. Jack Parkins, though, showing that he is a future star in the making in the FBRL. He is running very good tonight. The best Curtis Racing entry so far. But the best cars of the night is Luke Martin and Ryan Acosta. Because look at the gap they are pulling. Martin and Acosta have done battle. Wow, Demax, he bounced off the wall there. And is going to lose a spot to Eric Burton. So Eric Demax is going to need to make some big swings in terms of adjustments when pit stops happen. That is a big load of damage to the 10 car. Eric Burton has moved his way up into 5th place. The race for 3rd is on between John Hart and Dylan Schwellenberg. The battle for the lead, Ryan Acosta to the inside of Luke Martin. And Acosta has it done. Ryan Acosta coming off the big win in the Indianapolis 250. Back in the lead at Darlington, trying to go back-to-back in the 2 big prestigious events. Acosta and Martin. The race for 3rd, Dylan Schwellenberg trying to get this 20 car into victory lane for Rodriguez Racing. It's a long ways until checkered flag flies for tonight's race. We're still lap 26, but Schwellenberg, very promising. He's up to 3rd place, past Arndt, and battle for 5th really isn't a battle. Burton trying to pull that gap, and the Rodriguez Racing Camrys side by side for 6th. Crossover move by John Hart just a lap later after Schwellenberg made that move. John Hart back into 3rd. Zayden Davison leaving pit road. Luke Martin still right on the back bumper of the 45. Can't make anything happen. Pit stops will be coming up. We're hearing there is some serious issues with the 33 of Jack Parkins. He has been on pit road for a long time, and this is going to be costly for the 33 for Curtis Racing. Parkins was running up in the top 10, but he has came down pit road, and he is sitting there for an awful long time. The first of the leaders have came down pit road. John Hart is coming to pit road. DJ Curtis is too. So will the undercut prove to be vital in this race? We're about to find out. Only 2 race cars pitted on that lap. Luke Martin, Ryan Acosta, we're hearing they might be coming down pit road this time by. Yes, they are. Luke Martin, Ryan Acosta, the 2 best race cars in the first 30 laps. They're hitting pit road. Eric Burton stays out. Eric Demax stays out. There's Matt Rodriguez also staying out. Rodriguez loves to do the overcut in the Sony Cup Series. And Rogers, Fisher, and others are also on pit road. Here comes Burton. Here comes Demax. Rodriguez, Shelley. And then Dylan Young, Jeff James, Chris Dodd, Zachary Fitzwater. Is that the 7 of Bobby Jones? Yes, it is. He's coming down pit road. Parkins is a few laps down. There's the 3, John Hart. He pitted the earliest. We're going to see where he lines up. Ryan Acosta beats Luke Martin off pit road, so that was a big jump on pit road. They came in together, and Acosta gets the jump on Luke Martin. And there's the difference. Ryan Acosta gets out ahead over Luke Martin, then John Hart. Hart's going to get ahead of Dylan Schwellenberg. Then 5th place will be Rogers, Charles Sanford, Red Bull Racing. Very good pit stop for them in the 5 car. Then there's also Jesse Turner, Jake Bassinger. I think they're in the top 10 now. As they come across the line, we're going to see. As pit stops try to cycle out, they're still cycling out. So yes, it is Turner, then Bassinger. Rodriguez is in the top 10 and 10. And then just ahead, or just behind Rodriguez, Jordan Fisher's in 11th, then James Shelley, Anthony Marchese, Ryan Griffin, Kyle Collins is a lap down. Then it's Dylan Young, Will Goss, Mind you, on debut at Darlington, 16th. And then Cody Lamas, Zachary Fitzwater, then Bobby Jones over Jeff James, but not anymore, as Chris Dodd goes into 20th. And then there's a race for 21st. Here comes Dejon Weeks in the 37 of this inside. And then Richard Johnson, Jeffrey Lynn, Alexander Rowe, and Samuel England doing battle. Porkins a few laps down. That's tough. Hayden Klein, DJ Curtis, and Demax had a lot of damage they had to buff out on pit road. They reside in 29th and 30th. One of the few last cars on the lead lap, and Brandon Parsons, also a rookie on debut, on the lead lap in 31st, ahead of Ryan Acosta. John Art to the inside of Luke Martin. It seems like the 3 and the 20 are better than the 0. Oh, and Art kind of shoved Martin out of the way. Well, John Art's going to take that position away. He's up to second. Dylan Schwellenberg's in third now. But the handling, whatever adjustments they might have made on Luke Martin's race car, has gone in the wrong direction. I know this isn't the battle we really want to be focusing on, but I know people like the backmarker battle some. Bradley Bishop Jr. is outrunning Scott Roush. Bradley Bishop Jr. is a talented Hardee's National Series driver, and so is Scott Roush. But that is a big difference in terms of race car and equipment and what they have at their dispense. But Bishop Jr. trying to keep the 31 behind him. And Bishop Jr. doing all he can to keep Roush behind him. That is the race for 33rd. They're running up on Alex Mignacco, who is a Hardee's National Series champion. That is the battle for 32nd. Roush trying to get them both. And Scott Roush will be able to make that pass and up to 32nd. We're hearing that Brandon Parsons, look at this race car. Brandon Parsons is having a tough time out there. We're hearing that his race car is very tough to drive, and he's having a tough time getting around out there. But also a driver on debut, Will Goss on debut, but Goss has some experience in the FBRL. Parsons is an iRacing specialist, and he is making his first ever on-track race, and this is big for him to be doing it at Darlington. But look at the race car, it just dances into turn 3. It's kind of crazy. No one else is having that kind of issue out there, but Parsons trying to hang on to it. And his engine is gone. Brandon Parsons, the engine has let go for the 29 Martin Motorsports Ford, and the yellow flag is out. Caution flag is out on the racetrack. And as the field is going to be frozen when they come across the line. So Ryan Acosta will be picked up as the race leader over Art Martin and Schwallenberg, with Zack Rogers in 5th. We knew something wasn't quite right with the 29 car, and then it just let go right in front of Jake Bassinger. And that's his race over for Brandon Parsons. It's all the drivers that are coming down pit road. Demax and Curtis was the last on the lead lap, and they kind of got a break from that. But Art brings Demax off pit road, but Luke Martin had a very, very slow stop. And the adjustments they made on the first pit stop went the wrong way, and they took their time on this pit stop to really make a hard swing at it. And Martin and even Shelley lost out on a bit of time. Coming back for the restart, it will be John Art, Ryan Acosta, Eric Burton in the 88 for Cybertron Motorsports, Dylan Schwellenberg, Jake Bassinger from starting out back. The 99 is Zack Rogers, Charles Sanford's Red Bull in 7th, Jesse Tanner, Luke Martin, Ryan Griffin. And then Matthew Rodriguez, Cody Lamas, Dylan Young, Will Goss is in 14th. James Shelley, Dejon Weeks, Anthony Marchese, Bobby Jones, Jeff James, Jeffrey Lynn, the top 20, Johnson, Dodd, Hoffman, Fitzwater, Rowe, Demax, England, Curtis, Fisher. Those are the guys in the lead lap. We're back in racing. All the drivers on the inside of John Art. Like mentioned, you do not want to be on the outside entering the corners. And John Art, that's exactly where he is, but he wants to clear Hayden Klein's 08 car. And John Art dashes his way into the lead. He was already in the lead, but he's clear of all the lap cars. Ryan Acosta around the outside of the 26 of Bradley Bishop Jr. Second place, moves his way up some and clears all that lap traffic. But you see Acosta, he's going to have to try and charge his way. Scott Roush setting out after his teammate, trying to get back on the lead lap. And there's the 45 of Acosta. Then Burton from the, who is that? That's still in Schwellenberg. As these guys continue to maneuver around the lap cars to settle themselves out. As the race in the last few laps has kind of spread these guys out a little bit. Acosta trying to reel in Arndt with Burton in third. Fourth is Schwellenberg trying to get around Joseph Strigley. And then it's Zack Rogers in the 99 for fifth. Sixth place is Charles Sanford. Jesse Turner seventh. Eighth place is the Will Goss, I believe. Will Goss has moved his way past Jake Bassinger and Dejon Weeks for Monster Energy Racing. He has moved up to 9th, and 10th place is Bassinger now after clearing Vince Freeze's race car. But what a run tonight by Will Goss and Dejon Weeks. Weeks for Monster Energy Racing trying to get the most out of that race car. He struggled in Indianapolis with that 37, and here tonight has found his way to the inside, and it's really helped him. Will Goss, really impressive in his first outing in the Sony Cup Series. Ryan Acosta is all over that 3. You gotta think, Ryan Acosta is looking to try and have some Zaxby's tonight. He's to his inside, trying to get underneath of John Arndt. And Acosta to his inside. Arndt keeps it out of the wall. Eric Burton not that far behind in third. But Acosta, probably one of the best, if not the best race car out there. Has to continue to stay on it and continue to dominate the pace of this race. He's out ahead again in this race. Caution flag is out for the second time tonight. Alexander Rowe runs right in the side of Alex Bianco. Rowe slides and nearly spins it out. The officials bring out the yellow flag, and honestly, from all the times ever run in the Sony Cup Series, you would think they never throw the yellow flag in some situations. But that one, I don't understand why, but, you know, it's yellow flag. It is a madhouse on pit road. Ryan Acosta is going to exit pit road with the lead. And how about that, Zack Rogers? And did John Arndt, the 3, get damaged? John Arndt looks like he's got a lot of damage there. He might have got hit on pit road. Well, to give a little update on John Arndt in the 3 car. He decided not to make repairs on the damage. He did have that damage earlier. So John Arndt already had that damage. He did not get it on pit road. The leader is Ryan Acosta over Rogers, Arndt, Sanford, Burton. Turner and Dejon Weeks in 7th. A great pit stop for them. Dylan Schwellenberg lost a lot of positions. Then Bassinger and Goss. Then Jeff James, Bobby Jones, Fitzwater, Shelley, Mark Gazy, Lynn Dodd. That is the drivers just outside of the top 10. We're back in racing again. And again, very similar situation. Need to get to the inside as soon as possible. The 45, Ryan Acosta has been one of the best cars tonight. He's going to be tough to beat. And off of turn 2, Scott Roush, Joseph Shringley. They aren't going to be any slouches for these leaders. And they want to get their lap back. Scott Roush gets ahead, hoping for a caution to come back out. Oh, and John Arndt and Ryan Acosta have hit the wall. And Zack Rogers has taken the race lead. And that was the first mistake that Ryan Acosta's made all race. But he just lost the lead. And he hasn't lost any more positions. James Sorfox was very kind to Acosta, stayed nearly on the apron there. But now, Zack Rogers in search for his first Sony Cup Series checkered flag. He's out ahead. From Acosta, you have Charles Sanford's Red Bull, and then Jesse Turner, and Dejon Weeks in 5th place. Dejon Weeks from Monster Energy Racing, their best finish was, I believe, Julio Caesar got 6th. At Talladega, Bobby Jones, I believe, also had a 6th place. Excuse me, but I believe that's their best finish. And Dejon Weeks, what a run tonight. Eric Burton back up to 6th place past John Arndt. Dylan Schwellenberg trying to get them positions back. Jake Bassinger's a scramble from 10th on back. Jeff James is in the top 10. Acosta trying to pick his way through lap traffic. Sanford's ahead of Turner from Weeks and Burton. They're trying to run down the 99 of Zack Rogers. Turner looking to make a move on Charles Sanford to his inside, and Jesse Turner gets this place done. He's up to 3rd place. A battle between the energy drinks. Here they go. Sanford and Weeks door to door for 4th place, with Eric Burton just behind. But Dejon Weeks is going to clear Charles Sanford and move his place up to 4th place. I don't believe I said that right, but Dejon Weeks up to 4th. And 5th place now, Charles Sanford, or Eric Burton. Sanford's dropping back. So much is happening right now. It's crazy. John Hart trying to make a rebound, get back up there. He really struggled on the restart. Dylan Schwellenberg had a bad pit stop. He's trying to get those places back. Eric Burton to the inside on Dejon Weeks. No challenge at all. He takes that place away, and Burton's up to 4th. Jesse Turner trying to set up Ryan Acosta. He takes a peek to the inside. Acosta tries to cover it. Maybe a little bit of a fake right there by Turner. Trying to fake him out. Here he comes. He is inside. Acosta just barely scrapes the wall, but it's enough to hurt the momentum on the 45. That damage looks like it's a bit there on the right side. So Acosta, one of the best cars, may have been bamboozled by Jesse Turner. It messed his corner entry up, and Jesse Turner's up to 2nd place. 1-2, Turner Performance. Turner Performance, this is like the 2nd race in a row. They have looked so good. Eric Burton to the inside of Acosta, again in the wall, and Ryan Acosta, last race's winner. He is just not hitting his marks. Eric Burton, this is 2 weeks in a row. He is looking so good out there with a new contract to boot for the 2021 season. Burton looking like the right guy for that Cybertron Motorsports team. Turner digging to the inside of Rogers. Rogers keeping it out of the wall. Oh, and Kyle Collins bounces off the wall. And Turner, he is so good around here at Darlington. Jesse Turner takes the race lead. Dylan Schwellenberg has moved his way back up into the top 5, trying to run the leaders down. The race for 2nd place, Eric Burton took a peek to Zack Rogers, but Rogers is able to fend off the challenge for right now. It is Turner, Rogers, Burton, Acosta, then Schwellenberg, and then Charles Sanford, Dejon Weeks, Jake Bassinger, Jeff James, and James Shelley. Will Goss is knocking on the door of a top 10 run. A lot of teams and even the drivers are taking notice of Will Goss out there. With John Arndt in the 3 in 12th, he has just lost a lot of the handling on that car. Eric Demax and DJ Curtis had a lot of damage early on. They've been trying to rebound. Matthew Rigas, the point leader, needing something to go right for him, but he is just struggling. He's got some damage too. Luke Martin in the 0 ran really good with Acosta early on, but the adjustments just have not been there for Martin, and a top 10 finish is needed for him in this championship fight. Eric Burton has moved past Zack Rogers. That's him up to 2nd place. And Burton in the 88. This is 2 weeks in a row, like we mentioned, that he has just came to life. We don't really talk about Eric Burton much at the front of the pack, but he is a champion of the Sony Cup Series, and put some respect on the sleeve of that driver. Eric Burton, very good behind the wheel. He won 5 of 15 races in his season. And Burton at Darlington, one of the toughest tracks out there, chasing down another very hard champion to beat. Turner, this is one of his best tracks, I believe. This has got to be Turner's best track in the Sony Cup Series. Dude went from 42nd to 1st in 2018 to win this race. Turner loves Darlington. But he's got Burton, his teammate Rogers, and Ryan Acosta, and even Dylan Schwellenberg to worry about in these final 35 laps. Jake Bassinger has moved past the energy drinks, and Sanford bounces off the wall. And Sanford's going to lose 7th place and even 8th. as James Shelley moves his way past and into 8th. James Shelley really showing that he is so consistent in the Sony Cup Series. If he can just finish in the top 10 from here on out the rest of the season, he could be a tough driver to beat when it comes to the championship finale. But in winning the championship, Shelley would love to contest that, just like he did back in Season 17. Eric Demax is back in the top 10. Jake Bassinger continues to pick his way through race cars. And Bassinger, he has moved past of Dylan Schwellenberg for 5th place. And Schwellenberg is down to 6th. Weeks is under a challenge from James Shelley and Eric Demax. Dejon Weeks, very good run tonight, keeping it off the wall. DJ Curtis has moved in the top 10. Luke Martin just outside of it. But Charles Sanford in his Red Bull, he was just in the top 10. He is outside the top 15 now. And the handling on that 5 car has went away. Jake Bassinger looking to pick off another race car. Bassinger, look at this pass. Big boy moves. Big boy moves. Jake Bassinger has championship on his mind and a win at Darlington. He wants to get up there and win this race. Jake Bassinger started in 34th place. Deep down the running order, and he has just not been as quick. But Jake Bassinger has came to life. There are all 4 of the Turner Performance drivers are inside the top 10, and 3 of them are in the top 4. Pit stops are unfolding. The final pit stops of the race. Turner, Rogers coming down pit road. Jake Bassinger is too. Rogers wants to be right on the back bumper of that race car. Acosta's in pit road. Dylan Schwellenberg is too. A lot of race cars are damaged, but this 97 looks crystal clear. That is a beautiful race car. I love these schemes out there. Eric Burton in the 88 is going to have to try and do something to shake these Turner Performance drivers. Here it is. We will be coming back to the line. There'll be 13 laps to go. Eric Burton and Jake Bassinger did it, doing the overcut. And there's Jesse Turner. There's Eric Burton. Burton trying to get ahead of Turner. Can't he do it? Trying to slide up in front of him. Eric Burton ahead of Turner, but can't Turner do the crossover? Where is Zack Rogers? I don't know where he is. He had a bad pit stop. But Eric Burton trying to stay ahead. Jesse Turner on that back bumper looking for a 3rd win at Darlington. Eric Burton in the 88 for Cybertron Motorsports. The first race since signing a deal for his 2021 contract. What it would be for him and his race team to know they have 2021 on their side momentum. They're going to get things figured out and back and going. This race team had struggled majority of the time in the series. For this season, it's been tough for them. This is the old Yamp Motorsports team. The Yamp Motorsports paint schemes. But it is the Cybertron Motorsports leadership at the helm of that organization. And with about 10 laps of racing to go, Eric Burton, Season 9 champion, who has not won a Sony Cup Series race since 2015 at Willow Springs, leads Jesse Turner. 3rd place is Jake Bassinger. Zack Rogers, a very poor pit stop. He is down to 4th. And 5th place is Dejon Weeks. Oh, man. They have to be tickled to death with this run tonight. They were talking about a new chassis with that car, and it looks like it's doing pretty well. Jeff James is a lap down. Jeffrey Lynn's a lap down, but he's got to be thinking about James Shelley. James Shelley wants to get in that top 5 to make all 4 of those Turner cars being in the top 5 for this race. Turner Performance. If you aren't shaking in your boots now, you have to be worried about this race team because they look very quick. All 4 of them looking good as Shelley goes by Dejon Weeks to get in the top 5. DJ Curtis with a big recovery in this race is in 7th. Martin's 8th. Acosta trying to get a top 10 out of this. He has struggled late. He's in 9th with Eric Demax in 10th. And the rookie on debut, trying to get a top 10, chasing Demax. We could see a race for third place. Zack Rogers trying to get around Jake Bassinger. Bassinger is thinking about the championship. He wants to win it. He wants to grab his second title. Rogers not really in the fight for points. But further ahead, Eric Burton has a Monster Energy racing car. Bobby Jones in the way. Jesse Turner about half a second behind Burton. It can be made up. Matthew Rodriguez, very poor showing tonight by Matthew Rodriguez. 24th. That's going to be 2 races in a row not running in the top 10. And battling Caleb Hoffman. The 9 team really needs to figure something out. With 5 laps to go, Turner trying to make a charge on Eric Burton. 4 laps of racing to go. Everybody on their feet cheering on Eric Burton. But he has a very fierce challenger door to door. Here comes Turner trying to sail it off in there. But Burton, it has been 160 races since he has last went to victory lane. But he is not where he needs to be. Turner gives him a little contact, and Jesse Turner takes the race lead with 3 laps to go. And Anthony Marchese, his teammate, trying to give him a little bit of a break. Marchese trying to let Burton go, fight for the win. Marchese racing in the 21st position. He has just went a lap down. But Eric Burton with 2 laps to go. Can he come back at Jesse Turner? Zack Rogers looking for a move around Jake Bassinger. That is 2 points on the board if Bassinger can hang on. And there's also a big battle for 5th place. Shelley trying to hang on against Dejon Weeks. But the race is for the win. The white flag is going to fly for Jesse Turner. White flag one more time around. If Eric Burton has anything, he needs to unleash it on Jesse Turner. Jesse Turner, what a run of races this man has been on. The last 4 races, it has been first, second, and a first place tonight. This is going to be Turner's 3rd win at Darlington. Turner wins. Jesse Turner, 3rd win at Darlington, 2015, 2018, and now 2020. A first, a second, a first. The last 4 races. No finish lower than 2nd place by Turner since Watkins Glen. And Jesse Turner is on fire right now. That is going to help him in points, maybe a little bit. Rogers he got by of Jake Bassinger, so that did help Turner's case a little bit. Jake Bassinger is the new championship leader. Eric Burton splits up what could have been a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Turner performance. You have to sit there and applaud Eric Burton's efforts. The dude was trying all he could. So make that 161 races since Eric Burton's last win. He had came so far, and it's been so long. But if this team continues to perform the way they have, this past champion that finished runner-up today could be back on the top step. It is Turner with the 3rd win of the season, or 3rd win at Darlington, and the 2nd win of the season. Jesse Turner is now tied with James Silverfox for 10th in the wins list. Think about that. Jesse Turner, 13 career wins, and now tied for inside the top 10 of all the race winners we've ever had, which is 106. Zack Rogers gets a whale of a run tonight. Very good drive. He performed phenomenally. 3rd place, 4th for Bassinger, Shelley 5th. And I also want to congratulate Monster Energy Racing and Dejon Weeks on merit and pace this afternoon. They were the leading Dodge, and they beat all the Chevys and Toyotas. 6th place, they tie their best ever finish in the Sony Cup Series. Ryan Acosta gets 7th, Martin 8th. Those were the 2 drivers that were so good early on, but they'll get a top 10 out of it. Curtis 9th and Dylan Young 10th. Those drivers making up the top 10 struggled as the race went on, but they rebounded, and good effort by them. Well, I want to say thank y'all for being patient. Thank you all for being patient. It has been a tough time lately getting the races out, and I've been wanting to get the races out. If you know, you know, and I'm glad to finally be able to do a race. Really am. I love doing the Sony Cup Series. Don't ever think that I don't ever love doing this for you guys. It is awesome. The championship fight will roar on in the Road America, where we have 9 races to go and 8 after that one. Jake Bassinger leads the title, but by how much? We're about to find out. Let's get to the finishing results for Darlington and the standings